Happy Friday. We made it through the week. What a busy, busy week it was. When you work at the bank and everybody's getting stimulus checks, everybody that you know and then some you don't know call. So we've had a busy week, but just wanted to come in and do a little bit of painting tonight to finish out the week and relax. And I showed you a couple of days ago what we're going to be doing. We're going to be turning this, or whatever piece of wood you have, it doesn't matter, just as long as it's a flat piece of wood, into this, what looks kind of like a wood plank. And then we're going to be show you a quick way to paint like a welcome to go on it, however you want it to go. I know that's backwards for y'all, so let's do it this way. So you can do it this way or this way, whatever your preference is. And then this will kind of be a part one. So after we finish this one, this part of it tonight, then in a couple of days or so, I'll let you know when, but I think we're going to paint some pretty flowers on it. So if Crystal's watching, Crystal, you can do it. It's flowers. Crystal knows what I'm talking about. So it'd be some easy flowers that we can do. So this is what we're going to do tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is our finished one here, and what you're going to need, you'll need some white paint, some black paint. It's not going to take much black at all. So white, we're going to probably have to put a couple of coats on it. We'll see here. And then I'm using a 1.5 inch brush to do my base coating on. So we're going to do that just a little bit faster with a bigger one. So let's get started on that here in a minute. You're going to need either a ruler, just something with a straight edge. What I'm going to use is my bow maker box because it's just the right spacing, and it's also just long enough to make my line straight across. You'll need a pencil, and for the lettering I'm going to use a pouncer, so I think that will help you and to do it faster. Now, you can also use a brush if you don't have one of the pouncers, or a sponge, but you can also use a brush to do it. We're going to use some baby wipes. We always have baby wipes when we're painting. So, hi Amber. Hey. Glad everybody's starting to get on here. Not sure with typically on a Friday night you would think everybody would be out and about and this would be a terrible time to do it, but we can't go anywhere still. So I thought, well, this might be a good time to try it. Okay, so we're going to get started on this. This is the blank piece. And again, we're going to make it look like this. So if you have anything at all wood that you can paint on, it'll work just fine. So let's get started with and we have the challenge at the end to see who knows what this is. I've already had one guess and how we can use it. So we'll see towards the end what this is going to be. And again, this will be part one of this piece because I'm not going to have time to finish it all tonight. But what we're going to start out with is base coating in white. So if you have white or off-white, I'm going to get my brush a little bit wet. I just like to always start out with it damp. I just think the bristles do better. So I'm going to get it wet in a cup of water, and then I always have a wet cloth with me, and I just kind of dab it off there. So let's get some white. Always shake your paint up. I hope everybody's had a good week. We did get some sunshine, or in our part we did anyway. Got a little bit of sunshine and kind of perked everybody up. It's supposed to rain tonight and tomorrow again, but it was sure nice to have it while it lasted. All right, I'm just going to put a pretty good amount on there because this is a pretty big piece that I've got. Now, you may not need to squeeze that much out. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to go ahead and get a lot of paint on it. I just don't want to get it up to the ferrule, the metal part. So let's just start base coating, and remember when you're doing your edges, you don't want to come back in from your edges in. You want to go from the center or from the inside of the piece out so that your paint's not dripping all around your edges, because it will. And we're probably going to have to do a quick second coat on this. We'll see. We'll see how it covers on this. This MDF soaks it up pretty good. So you're just going to get a good coverage on it, whatever you're painting on. We just want the whole thing covered in white. Just a quick base coat on it. And remember, base coating is the first color that you always put on your wood or the section that you're working on. So we're base coating this one in white. And you're probably going to get, now this is a laser cut, so it's got, see if you can see those black edges there. The edges are black on it, and I love that. But you're probably going to end up getting a little bit of white on it, but all you have to do afterwards is just take your black and just go around it and just touch it up a little bit with the black. If you want to, as you're going along, and you see that you get some white on it, you can also wipe it off with that baby wipe. You know, those baby wipes save us so many times, so many different ways. All right, so I'm going to keep going here. Oops, a little bit of dust on there. Okay. I would love to just sit and paint all day. I've got so much to get ready for the craft show in November, but I'm one of the essential workers. I work at the bank, and so we've been working so hard to help our customers not to see any difference in our banking services for them. And so we've been working every day. We haven't missed any work. Everybody still has their jobs, and I'm so thankful for it. But that means I haven't had a lot of time to paint. So I've been missing it. Okay, now don't keep going over the same spot thinking, oh, that's not covered, that's not covered. Remember, the first coat always looks splotchy, and you think, oh, that looks terrible. First coat usually always looks that way. So that's normal. Then when we dry it and let that second coat come on, it will cover it really well. Now, some colors you may have to do 3 or 4 coats. It's just like yellow is really hard. Hi, Betty Chumley. Betty's one of my neighbors down the road. Her sweet mama lives right behind us that just celebrated her 97th or 98th birthday. Miss Mildred, happy birthday a little late. But glad you're on here watching. So what we're doing right now is just base coating our piece white. Whatever piece you have available, doesn't matter what size. I mean, it doesn't have to be as big as this. All right, so that's almost half, and we've done that in under 5 minutes. So I'm just really putting it over here, on here fast. Been working on getting my website up and running. My son and my daughter have been helping me with that. Still got a little ways to go, but it's coming along, y'all. I'm getting there. I'm not a techie person, but I've learned so much in the last few weeks, just out of necessity. You know, if you're going to do this, you got to do this. So I've been telling myself to take a deep breath and just dive in. This piece that I've got here that I'm working on, I bought it through, well, actually, I bought it at the live event in Nashville with Tamara Bennett, Southern Adornment Decor. I bought several of them, actually. Going to do some for the craft show. But her pieces are always really nice. She has somebody that cuts them for her with a laser, and they're always so nice. So you can go to her her website, southernadornmentdecor.com, and you can purchase this through her website. I know I talk about her almost every time I get on here, but she's been just such an encouragement to me and has gotten me kind of going in this again. I've painted for years, but had kind of gotten out of it, and she's just kind of sparked something in me, like she does everybody, to get going again and enjoy it, and enjoy it I have. Okay, so we've almost got the first one on here. But if you're not following Tamara Bennett, go look at her YouTube videos or on her Facebook. And if you enjoy painting at all like this, you know, you will absolutely love watching her. She's just so informative, and man, can she paint fast. I can't paint as fast as she does and have it look like anything, but she sure can. Okay, so we've got that first coat on there. Gonna let it dry just a minute. Actually, I'm gonna hit it with the blow dryer, so just for time's sake. Let's get it going now. This is a really big piece. And if I don't get any on me, it'll be That'll be the first time. The way you tell it's good and dry is when the shininess goes away. When it's wet and the light hits it, it's shiny. But when you get it dry, good and dry, but it's a dull, kind of a matte finish. And that's what you want. Okay, so we've got that one done there. Let me see if I've got, get my secret closet here. All right, I'm just going to use a piece of paper sack that I cut, and I've used 2 or 3 times here, but just to kind of smooth it out, because remember we said when we put the first base coat on wood, that wood's going to more than likely swell a little bit and feel kind of rough. So just wax paper works good too. You just crumple that wax paper up. But this, you just leave it flat. Looks like sandpaper, but it's not. So don't use sandpaper on it, because that's going to take your finish off. You just want to use a paper sack like you get at Brahms or somewhere. And just take it. Now I'm going to pull you down just a little bit. Let's get to where you can see what we're doing. There we go. Okay. And I'm going with the grain. And just really rubbing it. And see, it's good and dry. Just a little bit of paint. You can tell barely that it's on there, but boy, does it make a difference in your surface. Okay, you got that good and smooth. And wipe that dust off just a little bit. I think I'm going to need just a little bit more paint. Jennifer had to take the puppy today to get shots, and the little stinker weighed nearly 9 pounds. She's gotten so big. Every day we can tell a difference in her. Now I'm going to get just a little bit of water in my bristles again. Kind of daub it off just a little bit, because I want this to really go on smooth. And let's see who else has come on here. Hi, Lynn. We're going to paint the wood planks tonight. We just got our white base coated and just got it kind of smoothed out. So we're going to put our second coat on right quick. Leanne was at the live also, and so she's already painted one of these. And it was just so much fun. We had, I think, 125 women there, and some of the men. But we had just a room full that were painting. We had a different project every few hours. And let me tell you, I was in craft heaven. It was so much fun. And I know Tamara's going to have this next summer. She's going to have it in, this time it was in Nashville last time, but now it's going to be in Dallas. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Okay. It is a very versatile door hanger. I mean, you can do just about anything with it. Now, the one that I have finished, if you've noticed on my Facebook, a lot of my pictures, I've used it as the background. That's what I've been laying my pictures on, and it sure makes a good background for doing your photos for your finished pieces. Now I'm going to put just a little more water in this so that paint will smooth out and go on just a little bit easier. I've been noticing on Facebook a lot of the crafters that I follow, they've all been, cooped up because of the COVID-19 and the quarantine, and I've been seeing a lot of craft rooms being overhauled and remodeled and so pretty and painted. So glad to see everybody, getting to use that time for something positive. Okay, now I'm going to try to be a little more careful smoothing this out. I don't want any ridges, so I'm getting it good and smooth now. And I'm going to turn my piece around so that it's comfortable for me. Instead of me trying to go around the piece, I try to turn the piece around for me. A lot of people have, a lot of painters use the Lazy Susans if the piece, is not too big, and put them on there and turn it around. And you have to be kind of careful. If you're flicking your brush out, that paint's going to flick out and it's going to get on you. But if you'll notice, I wore a very busy blouse tonight, so if I get paint on me, you won't see it. Okay, so we're about halfway through again with this second coat, and it's looking really good. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We don't ever do perfect. And you just want it kind of smooth, but we're going to cover a lot of it up when we start doing the finishing on it. So don't worry about it if you've got a little bit that's not looking just right for you. So I'm getting just a little bit of more water on that. But the creativity that I've seen in some of these craft rooms, the different types of paint holders they've made, all the different ways they've figured out how to display them so it looks like an art piece almost. And it's just been so much fun to watch. When you go onto Tamara Bennett's Facebook, and when she does her lives, her background is so pretty, beautiful colors, and it's just out of broken down palette woods, and she just painted them all different colors, and she likes bright colors, and it is so pretty. It just makes a pretty background. I never get tired of looking at it when I watch her paint. I've had a lot of people asking about these paint holders I have back here, and I told you last time that I got them on Amazon, and Amazon didn't carry them anymore. But I did find them. In fact, I ordered 2 more. They each hold 81 bottles of paint. I've got 3 up here. And I've still got so much paint, nowhere to put them. So I ordered 2 more. So if you go on Etsy and you look up, the name of their business is What We Made. Robin and Dave, I believe. Anyway, they're $53 plus shipping and handling. But they are so well made. And I just absolutely love them, and they hold, you know, so much paint. It just helps for storage, and it makes a pretty, you know, background, all the colors. So I haven't had any problems with them. I haven't had anything I was disappointed in them at all. Okay, that's just about covered. Just a little bit more there. So are you painting with me? Are you just watching? Hey, Tamara Bennett, you've been hearing me sing your praises. Every time I get on live, I do sing your praises. What we're painting tonight, Tamara, is one of the boards that we did at the live event. And I was just telling them you're going to be in Dallas next year. This is what we're doing. And we are just base coating right now. It's been a busy, busy day. Just got in from work, but my phone was kind of dying on me. But Tamara had done a live earlier about her favorite Fab 5 things, and I just had to watch it a few minutes. She's always got the neatest things on there, and she's such a mentor. So again, if y'all are not following her yet, go to Southern Adornments Decor, and if you like painting or crafting at all, it will change your life. So you just get on there, and I promise you won't be disappointed. And I hope you're enjoying mine too. It's kind of quiet around here tonight since the puppy had to go get shots. She's not wanting to play much tonight, so it's a little bit quiet. Okay, so I think we've got our second coat on there. I think it's looking pretty good, and remember, it doesn't have to look perfect under there because we're going to be covering it up some on there, so let your piece dry. But let me know if you're painting with me or if you're just watching. So I'm going to go ahead and wash my brush out a little bit because I don't want that paint drying in it. And while we're letting that dry just a second, remember at the beginning we said, do you know what this is? What do you think this is? And I've had a couple of guesses and they were right. But what is this and how can I craft with it? So what I want you to learn is how to look for things around your house, anywhere for that matter, that you can use for painting, and you'd be surprised what you can use and what different ways you can use it. So I gave my boss the quiz today, and she said, I'm sorry, I just have no clue. And so I just want to show you how my brain works. When I see something, you see this, a piece of trash. When I see it, this is what I see. Okay, I'm going to hit this with the hairdryer just a minute so it will, we can kind of go quickly. Well, actually, I'm sorry, we're not. Let's leave it a little bit wet. Okay, so what we're going to do next, now you can use a yardstick or you can use a ruler if you want to. Again, I like to just use whatever I have, whatever's around, and we got, again at the Live in Nashville, we got the Easy Bow Makers, and they are awesome. So I've got this box here that just turned out to be the perfect size for me to do that. And I see this is still just a little bit wet, so I am going to hit it for just a second with that hair dryer. So remember, on our finished piece, we've got lines going across to make it look like that wood. And what we're going to do, you can do it with a pencil if you want to get your lines drawn out. And that's what I'm going to do, just very lightly, because it's going to cover up the pencil marks when we use the black. So we just used our 1.5 inch flat brush to do our base coating. Remember, that's the first coat. And I'm going to pull you up just a little bit here. There we go. Y'all let me know if you can't see what I'm doing, okay? So I'm going to lay it across and get my pencil. Now, if you're using a ruler, just kind of eyeball it where you want your first line, how wide you want it to be. Yardstick would probably be easier for you, but I'm going to use this because the spacing is just perfect for it. So I'm going to get my first line. I'm going to get it just below this right here. Let me see if you can see that. And it won't be quite as wide as the other ones, but I'm going to start right where that kind of diamond-shaped triangle is. So I'm going to have that much sticking out. This is a big piece, y'all. It's hard to work with it. Okay, so let's just very lightly, you don't want a real dark line, just very lightly drag it across. And this will just give you kind of an idea where that line's going to be. Now, I'm not even going to move this box because it happens to be the best, just the perfect width for me to do this. And it's about 3.5 inches. So you can go 4 inches if that will be easier for you. So move up 4 inches if you're using a ruler. Lay your ruler down and we'll just draw along that line. So I'm just very gently, I am just barely touching. Now, if you're using a ruler, you're going to measure that out, or you can go 1, 2, 3. And that's about the width that you're going to need as well. So just kind of use your own judgment with that. Now, my paint was a little bit wet there, and some of the paint came up, but that's okay. We'll fix that in just a minute. Okay, same thing. Make sure you're getting your line straight. Just barely across. And just all the way to the other side. Just making sure you get your line. And even with just the light pencil marks, you can already tell it's looking like planks. And I like this one because there's no real, you don't have to just have a perfect, well, we don't do perfect anyway, but you're going to hide a lot of if you make any blemishes or anything with it, you're going to hide it with what we're going to do here in just a minute. Okay, so got that one ready. I think we just like a couple of more. Anyone doing anything special this weekend? I know normally everybody would be getting ready for senior activities, and I've been seeing so many neat things that they're doing for all the seniors, and adopt a senior and do this and do that. I just think that's so cool. Okay, so I've got one more that I'm going to do here, and I'm going to make it just a little bit, I want it to be just about the same width as that one that I have on the other end. So right where those crevices meet, where that triangle is, that's about where I'm going to have my line. So right across there. There we go. In the customer care center where I work at the bank, we typically have about 2,500 calls per day. Yesterday, when the stimulus checks started coming out, we had over 8,000 calls. We didn't have any problem sleeping that night, but it was so much fun and to get to talk to so many customers. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, take your, okay, who remembers what type of brush this is? It's not the filbert because it's not oval on the top. It's our round brush, and this one is a number 8. So that's what I'm using right now. Oh, you're welcome, Tamara. Charlie's watching. Hi, Charlie. Logan was on the other night, and I was trying to introduce him to you, and he didn't understand that he couldn't wave to you and you hear him and wave back. But he said to tell you hello. Okay, so we're going to need a little bit of our black paint. Shake it up good. And I put just about maybe like a $50 size. We can always put a little bit more on it if we want to. That way it saves your paint. It's harder to put it back in the bottle. You can always add more if you need it. Okay, so we're going to squirt about the size of a $50 out. Just a little puddle. And you're going to have to apologize. I'm going to have to apologize for my voice with the allergies. They are really in full force. Okay, so you're going to need your brush and get a little bit wet. I just like getting those bristles wet. It just seems like it works better for me. Get your baby wipe. You might want to get a couple of them out. This was so relaxing when we were at the live back in March doing this. And just, it fascinates me to take 100, 125 pieces of the exact same cutout, the exact same piece, the exact same paint, the exact same brushes. But if you have 125 women or painters, women or men, you're going to get 125 variations. And that just fascinates me how, you know, one person can see something one way and the other person can see it the other way, but the end result, they're all so neat and so cool. I've spent hours and hours and hours out on our bandsaw and my jigsaw. I used to cut wood all the time, but I've gotten so busy I haven't done it in a while. But I just love taking a piece of just plain piece of wood, and when you got finished with it, you know, the shape, I just love the whole process. Just taking a piece of wood, and by the time you get through, it's just magical to me. Okay, so we've got our round brush. We get it just a little bit wet. And remember when you're loading your brush, I like to load it with whatever the shape of the brush is. This one's got a round, so I just kind of drag it out with the just the round shape and kind of swirl it in there. And Tamara, tell me if I'm missing a step because it's been so long since we've done this. So you'll have to tell me. But so we're going to just make our, now I'm going to have to stand up for this so you're not going to see me. Make sure you can see. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to drag my brush, start at the on the outside. You don't want to start from the inside and go out on this one because you'll be laying your arm on your paint and you're going to have it everywhere. So let's start. Move my plate out of the way. Make sure you can see it. Okay, so we're just going to start at the end and we're just going to drag it across. You're going to have to reload it about halfway through. A little more paint. And it doesn't have to be exactly on that line. Okay, again, the next one. Just all the way across, and I'm going to hold my plate with me. Be a little bit easier that way. I've got a whole room and a whole garage of stuff to paint to get ready for the craft show in November, and you think, you're already getting ready for a craft show in November? Yes. It takes me a while because I don't get to paint every night, working full time and other things that I'm involved in. Now I've got a few little drips here, but that's going to be okay. I'm going to just take those off with the baby wipe. Love those baby wipes. Okay. Whoops. Charlie, did I hear you say that you have some baby chicks at your house? I would love to come see them. Okay, now I'm not going to worry about that too much because we're about to do even more damage that way to it. Okay, so last one I'm going to do right now, and then we'll do some more because I want to do it while it's wet with the baby wipe. Okay, so we're just dragging it across. I can feel my face turning red. This ring light gets really warm. Okay, so you've got your 3 black lines here. While it's still a little bit damp, we're going to take one of the baby wipes and we're just going to wipe it off. So just go right in here and you're just going to wipe across. And you're just wiping it off. And just kind of wipe it all over it. Now, the more paint you have on it, the blacker it's going to be, but you can still wipe that off too. And I want to get my line thinner here. And just wipe it all over it. Whoops. Yeah, I like the Huggies baby wipes better. I just think they hold up better. This is Cottonelle. And they're just not quite as thick and they kind of come apart, but I didn't think about getting my other ones when I was in there. Okay, so you're just wiping over your lines, really thinning it out. I'm going to take even just a little bit more off. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next one. All the way across. Yeah, see why I said it really didn't matter if you had some blemishes underneath there, that they're going to get covered up. This really covers it up. Whoops. Don't lose it there. Okay, I'm going to take another one because I want it just a little bit lighter. Now, you could leave it that dark. That's completely up to you, whatever your preference is. But I just want it a little bit lighter. I like a little bit more of that white showing through. And get those edges too. Now I'll probably come back just a little bit where our black lines were and fill that in just a little bit more. But look at the difference so far. What just a few little strokes does. All right, now I'm going to turn it around and go back the other way a little bit with it. And this is only the second time I've done this. So the more you do something, the easier it gets. Don't ever give up. It's just a piece of wood. If you do mess up, you can always paint over it, sand it off. Okay, so now we need to get a little more paint and do these lines on this end. Okay, so let's get your round brush again, and I'm going to get mine a little bit wet. Now the ring light is drying this out a little bit because mine I have to have it kind of close to me the way my room is set up, but it's still wet enough that it's working okay. All right, so we're going to do the next line. So we got 1, 2, 3 lines left. There we go. That's flowing a little better. So many of the young girls are painting now, and it's just so much fun to see them all starting. And I remember when I started 30-something years ago, you know, we didn't have all the internet and we didn't have cell phones. Yes, I'm telling my age, but we didn't have any of that you could go on and watch each other and see what you're doing and encourage each other. We just met at everybody's house, usually once a month with church women. And whatever craft you did, whatever you were working on, some would crochet, some would knit. But, you know, we just had the best time just being together and teaching each other what we knew, learning so much. And I just think it's so important to have something creative that you can do. Even if you're a guy and a mechanic, you know, if that's your thing and that keeps you involved and happy. Our grandson Dylan, he's been working on his Jeep. He's just turned 17 and he can take anything apart and put it back together and it work. I mean, he's just talented that way. I couldn't. But he's also got an artsy side to him. Okay, now we're doing the same thing. We're just rubbing it on there. Rubbing it off. Get it on that tip there. And that's way darker than what I want, so I'm going to wipe it some more. I'm just going to turn my baby wipe over here. And I am putting a little bit of pressure on it. These baby wipes aren't super wet. Let's see if I can get a little bit of water in them. That'll help. All of the flowers around the yard are starting to get blooms on them and just, oh, it's supposed to be spring. And this week we had some snow flurries in the early part of the morning. I'm going to Texas snow flurries in April, but that's how crazy this year has been. Nothing's been normal. Okay, so this is the first time I've ever used the Cottonelle baby wipes for anything like this. They are really coming apart more than what I like. I mean, they're getting the little threads, you know, on there. So I like the Huggies better. They just don't seem to do that for me. They're thicker and they seem to be moister. Okay, let's keep going here and just get it covered. Now, are you painting on anything? Or are you just watching and you're going to get brave and do it after the video? I've had so many phone calls and text messages after the live saying thank you so much. It's just so nice to have someone in our area that's doing this, and cannot wait to get back to the paint parties. They were just really going strong when we all had to stop meeting and getting together. So I'm really anxious to get started back in that. Okay, so I don't want just the real dark, harsh lines. I just want them barely visible. I like it looking that way, so you can just really barely tell that there's a plank there. Okay, looking good. A little dark here in the middle, right here in the middle, so I'm going to lighten that up a little bit. And I'm really putting some pressure on it. I even don't mind if a little bit of the wood shows through from the wood piece. I just think it gives it a nice little flare. It makes it really pull that wood out. Usually when I start painting this late at night, I just get so into it. I turn my music on, and or either I've got Tamara Bennett on and watching one of her videos, and you know, I just forget the time, and before I know it, I've been in here 8 or 9 hours painting. But it's just such good therapy. Okay, we're gonna go with that. A little bit more paint. I made the lines a little bit thicker on this one than I did on this one, but it still looks great. I mean, it still looks like the wood planks. It's just a little bit different texture, and that's what I like about it. No two pieces, when you make them homemade, are going to look exactly the same, and that's what shoppers like. They really, you know, like the handmade. I know I could go to Hobby Lobby and get something, but I don't want something. I mean, I do sometimes, but I like them when they look handmade and they've got that love made, I guess is what you'd say. You put your heart and soul into it, and your elbow grease. Okay, so we're going to go with that on that one. So while we're doing that, letting that dry just a little bit, I'm going to set it aside, and let's do our welcome. Okay, now this is front ways for me. I know it's backwards for you, but our welcome sign. Now, especially this, since it's already laser cut and it's got the black edges on it, and we're painting black, this is going to be a piece of cake. This is going to be really easy. So you're going to get some more black paint in your plate or your egg carton, whatever you're using. And we want just about the size of the dauber you're going to use, or the spoutzer is what it's called. This is the larger one. Remember, we used it the other night. It's about the size of a quarter. So that's about the size paint you want. See if you can see that. There we go. And you're just going to get that on there. And you see how that's kind of drippy and wet there? You don't want that. You want to pounce some of it off, because you don't want it all on there. Okay, I've got it in there good. Now, to do these, I'm just going to pounce on it. And it's just simple. So I'm going to start with my W here. And I'm just going to pounce it on. And look at that. I've already almost got the W already done. So easy. So anybody could do this. So I'm going to get a little bit more paint, put a little bit more on, a little bit more off of it. Just all the way around. That's so satisfying. You can't go wrong. No mistakes there unless you got too much paint on it and it was coming off a little bit. Okay, y'all look at my pretty wall behind me right quick. All the colors while I turn the fan on, because it's really getting warm in here. This is an upstairs room, so the upstairs is always hotter than the downstairs, and with the door closed it just gets a little warm. Plus this shirt's kind of a long sleeve shirt. This is not what I paint in when I'm not doing a live. I've got my scrubbies that I paint in, and they have paint all over them. But I'm so proud of myself. This is my 4th or 5th live, I think. And I've not gotten paint on me yet. Knock on wood. I'll probably jinx it now. Now this has just a little bit of texture to it. But if you wanted to, you could take a brush and smooth it out over it if this bothers you with a little bit of texture. But I like it. I think it gives it a really neat look. And it's just so fast. Now you could even do it a different color if you didn't want it black. You could do it a different color and just clean up your edges. But using the same color that's on that edge, I'm not going to have to do that because it is just blending right in. I love the laser cut pieces. I do have a lady that may be helping me do some laser cutting soon, but my craft room right now is so full of the blanks that I've bought from Tamra to do for the craft show and samples and things. I've got to get busy and paint because I've got a lot of stuff and my booth is huge that I put things in, so I need to get busy. Okay. So, look how smooth that went on. And we did that in not even quite 3 minutes. Look how fast that was, how easy that was. So, I really like doing it, you know, that way. If you don't have a spouncer or a pounce or whatever you want to call it, you could use a sponge brush, just a regular, or just a regular brush. You could use that as well. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. And remember, this is going to be a 2-part because the next time we meet, we're going to put some flowers. We're going to paint some flowers on our board. And we'll paint them up here, maybe around the edges. Not sure yet. I'm going to have to play with it a little bit. But the flowers that we're going to do, they're so simple and just really hard to even mess up. I mean, they're just so good. The first time I ever did this kind, I've done a lot of one-stroke flowers with Donna Dewberry in her videos, but my first challenge to do these was with Tamra's challenge that she had last year, and it was just so easy, and I'll show you that next time. Okay, so this is good and dry, and I might even take a wet wipe and get a little more off of it. We'll see in just a little bit. I might do that, but just to show you how pretty it looks on that. Look how nice it's still wet, so I don't want to get it on the piece. Let me see if I can hold it this way. But there, and we could paint flowers up at the top. You could, you know, make a bow for it. There's just so many different things and ways you could do it. You could even put some white dots on your welcome or something like that to dress it up. But it just looks so pretty, and I just love that black and white together. Okay, So since that's dry almost, and we've got our welcome drying, that's pretty much all we're going to do to that tonight. But as I said, I want to teach you, or to train your eyes to start looking for things around you that you can use. That, let me bring us up just a little bit. The Archon keeps falling down a little bit. Okay, things that you can use around your house. You don't have to spend a lot of money. And if you're not one that can draw, just freehand everything, look for tools to help you. So tonight what we were talking about was, do you know what this is? What is it and what can I do with it? How can I craft with it? Okay, so when I saw this, and they were going to throw it away, I said, no, look at that. Look what you can do with that. It's the top off of a Kleenex box. And everybody's been buying Kleenexes lately because you couldn't get toilet paper. So you were buying Kleenexes. So it's the top off of this kind of toilet paper. I'm sorry, Kleenex. So I just took the top off of it. Set that over there. Now, look if you can't draw a flower. This will help you so much. I mean, it's just a perfect little petal. Put it all the way around. So let's draw one. Let me see. Let me get a pen. I think it'll show it better than the pencil. Let me get that right quick. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's just start up here. And we're just going to go all the way around it. By the way, Ruthie Hudson sent me a text earlier, and she was the first one to guess what it was. She didn't know what we were going to do with it, but she did guess what it was. So hats off to you, Ruthie. Ruthie's makes beautiful, beautiful cakes. And I'm just sliding everywhere, y'all. Okay, so there's our first one. So I just went all the way around it. Now, you could do it where you looped around the other petal on top of it, but I'm going to start it right where the circle inside stops. I'm going to meet right there, and it does overlap a little bit, but I'm not going to draw the line overlapping. So I'm going to get the bottom circle and then all the way around. This pen's about to come apart. We're going to go all the way around. Look at that. Just so easy. Okay, so we're going to go around all the way. We're going to go ahead and make a big flower. So I'm just starting where the petals meet right here and going around the top. Do our little bottom there. Tamara had a video one time showing us how to do all kinds of different circles using like the ends of toilet paper holders or paper towel holders, and they look like bubbles and just all kinds of different things. They were so cool. Okay, so one more here, and I'm going to scoot this one in just a little bit. Bottom. Scoot it around there a little bit. Okay, all the way down here. And I think we can get probably 2 more in there. So let's do one this way. Turn it in just a little bit. There we go. And they don't all have to be the same size. You can overlap them more on one side than you do the other. I mean, flowers are not perfect. Okay, so we're going to finish this one. And I'm going to finish it by putting the edges here of the indentation, I guess you would call it. I'm going to line it up with the two where it meets. And around. Oops, I didn't mean to make the line there. Ignore that line. Okay, so see how I did the line there accidentally? But you could do that, and you could even do it a different color. It would just give it a cool look. Okay, so I did this one pretty fast, but look at that flower. You've got a flower pattern. Another thing, I had to have some straight pins. I got them at Walmart, and the little thing that it came in, perfect little flower petals. I mean, the flower's already made for you. I even thought it would make a cute gingerbread pattern. So train your eyes and your brain to think about things differently, you know, when you see them. You can always use things around the house. I mean, just like the tongue depressors, popsicle sticks, whatever, making all of our different colors with them. So be on the lookout all the time for something that you can use that you wouldn't typically use it for that. Okay, so next time we meet, this was a pretty quick one. And I knew everybody was really, going to be busy tonight, so we didn't have a lot of viewers tonight, but I've been getting so many watching the replays, and I just appreciate it so much. So what we did tonight, just to kind of recap, we took this and turned it into the wood look, the wood plank, and I am going to lighten this up just a little bit because I think it's just a little bit dark. So I'm going to rub a little bit more off here in a minute. And we got our welcome painted in under 3 minutes. So you could do it catty corner, you could do it straight across, just your preference however you want it. So we did this one. Let's see, I said I'm going to try to keep it under an hour tonight. So part 1 was an hour, not even an hour, 10 more minutes. So we kept it down pretty good tonight. But just want to tell you how much I appreciate you watching. And y'all been sharing. My first video has got over 400 views. And for me and for my first one, that's amazing. And I absolutely am so excited about it. So trying to take the business up a notch, trying to get a website going, and just had so much fun and so many friends and family helping. And I appreciate it so much. But don't be afraid to try it. And if yours didn't turn out just like you want it, paint over it. If it's bothering you that much, just paint over it, start over, or turn over on the back. I've got a lot of pieces that have double sides, sometimes because I made such a mistake on the front that I didn't want to mess with taking everything off, so I just turned it over and started on the other side, and it worked out great. So that's what we're doing tonight. That's all I think that we're going to do tonight. And let me know if you tried it and if you like it. Hi, Laura Workman. Glad you're on. Thank you. Hi, Lori. I hope y'all got to see what we did. I am going to lighten it up just a little bit. Here's the first one that we did, or that I did. So it's the same thing. This one's already been sealed. And then part 2, next time we meet, we're going to paint some super easy flowers on it. Be really easy. Any of you can do it. You're going to need a flat brush and a round brush and maybe a liner brush. So just be picking out in your mind what colors you're going to use for your flowers. I use mostly the Deco Art because I just like the flow of it and how it works. But look at all these pretty colors. You decide, I would say, on 3 or 4 different colors that you want to do flowers in. And once I show you how to do these flowers, you're going to be addicted because they are so easy, but they add so much to a piece that you're working on. I'm working on a little girl's wooden ironing board right now to put in the craft show, and I'm going to put little flowers on it, and it just makes such a difference. Such a tiny little detail, but it just makes such a difference on them. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll get back on for part 2. If you want to be notified when I go back live, please reply to that message with your phone number so that it will notify you when I go live. And if you didn't have time to watch all of it tonight, go back and replay, and please sprinkle the love, and so somebody else can enjoy. I just enjoy teaching you so much what I've learned, and I've got so much more to learn. Every day I learn something. So I just want you to enjoy it as much as I do. So thank y'all. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.